Hey guys, this is Jeff at Hubie's Garage, and this video I'm about to show is it's actually the very first video that I ever did for the channel, and you know, a few rookie mistakes, so appreciate a little bit of patience with it. Did some editing and tried to clean it up because I've been sitting on this one for a while. Obviously, this was taken at Danchuk Manufacturing when they still had the retail side open. They were taking walk-in customers, and you know, it was it's kind of an end of an era for my dad and I. So we took a trip out there to see those guys, to see Danchuk on their last few days with the garage sale and everything that they were selling at discounted prices before they closed the doors to retail. They still are in business. They're still selling their parts as a distributor. You have to go through their dealers to purchase their products. But as far as the video, I'd had the video for some time. The garage sale was a couple of months ago, and I've just been sitting on it because, you know, it was my first video, a few rookie mistakes. I did it with a cell phone. Did the video in portrait instead of landscape, a few other issues. Through editing and whatnot, I'm finally throwing this thing together. And those of you that have never been out to Danchuk before, you'll get a chance to see what it looks like, and you know, what we went through. My dad, Howie, and I, what we went through every time we'd take a trip out there and you know, visit with Art and Dan at Danchuk. So we'll head on out and show you what it looks like. All right, be the last video driving into Danchuk. So yeah, this is standard. The old shop was on Halliday. So I don't know if they're keeping this site. Oh wow, the shelves looked empty. Well, doesn't really look like a lot of customers because these are all the employees. This is all the customer parking here. They don't even have the 57 Chevy out.
What you said?
All right, going into Danchuk for the last time with my dad, Howie. All right. Want to head over to the showroom first. Just go all the way to the back and to the right. Apparently that's where the garage sale is. I'll get some better views in here once we come in the showroom. This is where they had all the cars, like the museum. Oh, Dad, it was through here. You're gonna probably need to back up. Yeah.
Nice.
So this used to be full of cars. And it looks like the garage sale. Wow. Well, better get to shopping. There's a lot of stuff in here, surprisingly.
Well, he's going to keep the brake parts in my car.
You want to do what now?
Let's stick to the brake parts.
Oh, the brake parts, yeah. Yeah. A lot of the stuff here is primarily vendor stuff. A lot of low car, a few gaskets, billet accessories, engine parts. Got some seat belts, which I think they're overstocked on, but I think they're primarily keeping all the Danchuk stuff available to take to the Real Sports hood latch. Some armrests, rack and pinion stuff. Aftermarket headlights. I do have some trim pieces, which I was able to get. Those set aside. A lot of Mylodon stuff. These are nice. I don't know who make those. I usually use the Felpros. Hello. I think this is the 56 bin, which a lot of this is, some of this stuff here is blems. Lenses and dash trim. Unfortunately, the dash trim is 56, no 55. You got a lot of it. So, told by Danchuk staff that a lot of the stuff that's being sold at pretty much 50% off is not their stuff. It's vendor stuff. So sorry if I'm spinning here. There's so much to look at.
That's why I was curious.
I'm just looking at this on the wall here. This is pretty much their whole catalog at one point on the wall.
4, 7, 8.
All right.
You're paying credit card or what are you doing?
8.
Do you know how much is on it?
$100.
I don't want to do.
You know.
Hey guys, just a little follow up to the Danchuk video we had the other day. Go over the parts that I was able to buy at the garage sale, and then I also bought some stuff off the catalog. They were still selling stuff out of the catalog that's directly from Danchuk, because they are going to continue being a distributor or a manufacturer that is going to sell to all the distributors. So they're just no longer going to have a retail store where the public can walk in and buy their products. So it's not an unboxing per se, probably more of an unbagging, but we'll get started here. Yeah, I got some urethane ball joint covers. They were selling them for 75 cents a piece. I think I got six of those. There's all those right there. And then I did get a couple of specific upper ball joint urethane boots. Again, they were 75 cents, and can't pass that up. I've got a couple of cars that I got to do front end rebuilds on, so figured this is good items to have. Haven't tried the urethane dust covers, so figured I'd give them a try. It's pretty darn cheap. cheap insurance, I guess, because you can get ball joints, good ball joints these days, which is kind of an oxymoron, but if you can find good ball joints, the best ones to have are the ones that have the Zerk fittings on them and have boots that are really protected from the outside elements. So I got 2 of the upper bolts or boots that cover that upper ball joint, and then these other ones, these 18-215s, apparently they work for the upper and the lower, but they're just not attached to the retaining the metal retainer that it has. So that's what these urethane boots go to. Also have upper A-arm bumpers. It's a Danchuk item. It's a 037. They've been making these for years. This was on their original catalog when they were originally on Halliday Street, 2 streets over from where they are now. Also got some those are the upper A-arm bumpers, and then I got some lower A-arm bumpers. I got 4 of those. These are garage sale items that they had. They had a lot of outside vendor parts. It's like going to the grocery store without a list. You know, you're looking around going, oh, I could use that, I could use this. So bought what I can, and you know, just little items here and there. But got these lower A-arm cushions. They're the 038s, the square ones, whereas the other ones, the uppers, were the round ones. And also got an upper bumper for the rear axle, the little snubber that looks just like the one that goes under the upper A-arms. Not real sure why I got these, but I got some lower rubber bumpers that go to the rear axle tubes. I think probably for the 4-door, the 55 4-door. That's one of the cars that's going to probably need the front end rebuilt, so it'd be nice to have all new suspension components for that, because I think I might put my daughter in that car when she gets her license, because it's going to be kind of a family beater car, get around town car, whatever. If you need to run to the grocery store, you'll hop in it and run it down to the store. So we'll see how that one goes. It's going to be a lot of content on that one, because I'm going to be doing a lot of welding and rust panel replacement, stuff like that. Back to the parts. Got some e-brake rollers. Another item that was cheap. I think these were $8 for 2. I got enough for 2 cars on that one. They had a grab bag box. It just had a lot of loose items that were just kind of random. Some of it was incomplete. So I know I got some a starter bolt shim kit, which you can always use these. You know, the factory knurled starter bolts that you can't miss when you see them in the coffee can full of bolts. This was $1. A door hinge pin. They only had one, but you know, sometimes you ruin one. Sometimes the upper gets beat up more than the lower. So these were $1. And then I got a door spear. I've been looking all over for used stainless trim, especially the quarter trim, and there's just not a lot of stuff out there used, and it's difficult to ship that stuff because you know, some of the shipping companies don't always treat your stuff the best. So managed to find a driver's side door spear for the 210. I'm going to put this on the Del Rey gasser that I'm going to build, a street gasser. And I also managed to get the quarter trim, both the driver and the passenger side. These were normally $99, and I got them for $72 a piece. Again, these are the 210 quarter panel trim, not the Bel Air. And that was a pretty good deal. I was pretty happy with that, because they did have trash cans based on year that had trim pieces in them. Unfortunately, they just had the one door spear, so I can try to find another one later. But getting these quarter trim, it was pretty sweet to find that, because again, they're just not found, and they're new. And the other perk on this is it wasn't a blem item, because some of the items in the trash cans were blem items. So 72 a piece from 99 a piece. I was happy with that. One other item they had was, I got a trunk mat. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this in the gasser, the street-driven gasser, or if I'll put it in the four-door, but it'll go into one car. I mean, we've got 5 55s at this point right now, so I'm sure I'll have no problem finding a home for that. And then some of the bigger items in that grab bag, they actually had I don't know if you can see this, but they actually had a single shackle without hardware. This one's unique in that it's for a 56, 57 only. So one of the shackle ends has got a 2.5 inch spacing, and then the lower one has the 2 inch spacing. On the 55s, they were equal. They had a 2 inch and a 2 inch. This one's 56 for some reason, 57 both use this one. And I'm going to be playing around with some leaf springs in the gasser, the new gasser, the street gasser, in which it has a 2.5 inch wide leaf spring over the 2 inch stock leaf spring. So this is going to be, it was in the grab bag bin by itself, 20 bucks. Hey, that's awesome for me. I could use it as a mock-up, see if it's going to work, see if I want to modify the 55 shackles or just order a pair of 56, 57 shackles. So that was another good one that was in the grab bag box. They also had a dash lens kit, and this basically has the cardboard and the green and red lenses for the generator and ignition in the Speedo, and that'll go real well because I picked up a Speedo on Marketplace, a pretty nice one for a manual trans. It doesn't have the shift indicator lens in there, but it's just missing a temp gauge, which I don't think I have one Chevy that I've used the temp gauge on. I use the fuel gauge, but not the temp gauge. So, so that'll work in restoring this. And getting on to the stuff that I had to buy, or that I bought that was directly off the catalog, I got a lens kit. They had a lens kit that was, I think they were given like 5 or 10% off on their catalog items too, so it wasn't too bad. But this one is for the manual trans or standard trans, and it comes with just a clock lens and a speedometer lens. So that with the red and blue, or the red and green lenses, it should be a good start to getting the Speedo restored and rebuilt. I don't know if I'm going to clean up the chrome or get it re-chromed. Chrome prices are through the roof in California. Forget about it. It's just the stuff that they've mandated here. It's just the prices are just so high because of the regulation in this state that I'm pretty much looking at going out of state to have my chrome done. One other item I got was on the clock bezel, which is similar to this. It's just got the screen. I got the scripts that go on that. For some reason I ordered one and they gave me 2. They billed me for 2, so I'm fine with that. I'll probably put the other one on the 4-door. Couple more garage sale items. They had some of the aluminum, the malleable collector gaskets. I've used these before. They're actually pretty nice. Instead of, you know, cooking one of your paper ones and then being at a car show and then having one of them get brittle and snap and break off, and now you got an exhaust leak as you're trying to drive away from the car show. These are pretty nice. They had a whole bunch of 3.5s, and they had one 2.5. They were completely out of the real popular 3-inch collector gaskets because that's what 90% of the headers are, but I was going to use this for my street strip 55, my street car. It has a set of Doug Thorley Tri-Y headers, and it has a 2.5 collector. So I got a clutch head screwdriver kit. These are really nice to have with the Tri-5s because they do have clutch head, button head bolts or screws that are, now there's a bunch of them that are on the dash, under the dash, and it's just nice to have these tools instead of trying to use a the right sized flathead screwdriver. This is kind of a figure 8 sized button head nut or bolt or screw or bolt. So this is really nice. This was on sale in the garage sale area. And then one other item. This was kind of weird because I thought I had these. I had to go to Montana to pick up the gasser, and about a 2,500, 2,600 mile round trip for me. And when I went to get the car, it did not have drum brake, or didn't have drums on the front, nor did it have a rear axle or leaf springs. Luckily, my Street 55, I was replacing some old worn out springs, and I have a buddy that's got thousands of 57 Chevy parts, and he loaned me some parts to make the car a roller and get it on the trailer and get it home. One of the things that we couldn't find, and I knew I had them, but they're buried in the garage. More on that a little later. So I found these they're normally anywhere from 99 or 90 to 120 bucks depending on who you buy them from. Brand new in the box, and they had them for 50 bucks. So they don't have U-bolts, but they do have the shock jam nuts on them for the shocks, and they're pretty nice. So they don't look completely perfectly factory original, but they definitely are bulletproof. They're thick, they're heavy, they'll get the job done. So one other item, one final item, was a Mylodon oil pan. Looked these up at Summit Racing, and that was one thing nice about having my cell phone. I could look it up at Summit to find out if I was getting a good deal or not. These are normally $240 at Summit, and this is it's a 7-quart, low-profile, triangular based or bottom 7-quart oil pan with the left-handed dipstick. And this is a nice unit. This one, I may use it for the gasser, but it's gold iridized. It's got the Mylodon sticker on it. It's got the drain plug on the back, which I'm running a 4-speed Muncie in the gasser. Hopefully that won't shoot out and hit the back of my flywheel. It's got a little, not a trap door, but it's got a deflector plate. Really nicely made, nice welds. The big question that I have, and maybe there's somebody out there that can answer this for me, this is a period correct gasser. It's going to be, I'm basically making a copy of my dad's gasser that he ran at Lions Drag Strip in 1967. So I'm trying to find out. I know Mylodon has been around since 1957. They made some corporate changes around in 67, but I don't know if gold iridized parts, aftermarket parts, were out in the market in 67 to say that this is the correct oil pan to run. I don't know if gold iridized valve covers and pans didn't come out later until the 70s. I don't know if they ran, like a Chevy orange painted oil pan. I'm just not sure. So maybe somebody out there that might know specifically when they started, when this stuff started showing up in the speed shops, can drop me a comment. That would be great. But other than that, that's it. It's an end of an era with Danchuk. My dad and I had been going there since I was 9-10 years old, when Art Danchuk used to wait on us personally. He'd drive his 57 ragtop into work. He'd be out in the parking lot, and you'd pull right up, walk in, pull up a bar stool. Art would hop up from his desk, pull out a triplicate receipt, and handwrite out your order, and basically grab the parts himself for you. It was just a neat success story of two brothers who had a tooling background that started a great company, and it was a big part of our family's life. we have about 10 Tri-5 Chevys in our family here in town. Other families that have some other cars, as well as the 5 that we have in our immediate family. And it was a big part of our life. So hopefully this was something that you enjoyed. Maybe you picked up something, maybe you got a comment. I'd certainly, at this point, being that it's a new channel, I'd certainly appreciate some, if you like it, to go ahead and hit that like button. And if you like the content, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do both, and it really helps me out. It certainly motivates me to do more content, because I got a lot of content, and been doing these cars for 40 years, and I'm still learning every day. So anyway, I hope you guys have good luck with your projects, and hopefully we can all learn something along the way. So until next time, have a good one.